Welcome back into the Sports Zone. If you want to reach out to us, you can do it on our social media feeds, Local 3 Sports Zone on Facebook and at Local 3 Sports ZN on Twitter. The Norway Knights have been one of the most consistent programs in all of the UP under the leadership of Bob Madigan. They're off to a hot start in the young season, and joining us now via the Four Seasons Small Engines Hotline to talk a little Knights football is head coach Bob Madigan. Bob, thank you for joining the show.
Well, thanks for having us.
Now, Bob, your Knights, you're 2-0 on the season. Now, what has been the winning formula for your team so far this year?
I'd say we're more of a blue-collar team this year. Our offensive line has taken control of the first two games and made some real nice holes for our backs. We have our number 20, Mitchell LeGrave. He's really racking up some nice yards here. But first week we didn't do a lot of hitting, a lot of tackling, and that kind of showed. So we straightened that up a little bit. But you have a lot of people contributing in small ways, and it makes the whole team a lot better.
Mitchell LeGrave, he's been a playmaker for your team. He had 5 touchdowns in week 1. He also played a big role in your game last week against Munising. Can you talk a little bit about his emergence this season?
Mitchell actually started coming on about halfway through the middle of last year. He rushed for 200 yards last year in some of the games at the end of the season. And he was a pivotal player getting us to that district final. And he's a speedster. He's like, I think, second in UPs in 100-meter dash, and he's got decent size. He's 180, and he's got some speed, and he's a smart kid, a good kid. I teach him in the calc and the chemistry and the physics, so he's one of those football savvy kids. But he does have, I think he probably has close to 400 yards this season rushing so far. So he's definitely a factor. But we do understand they can gang up on him and they can shut him down. So we've got some other backs there in our backfield that can do the job too. And we try to divvy it up a little bit between the backs. But Mitchell has a great start to his senior year here, and I think he rushed for 250 yards first game and maybe even close to 180, 170 the second game. So Mitchell is definitely a big factor for us right now.
Now, Friday, your Knights are going to have the toughest test yet of your young season. You go on the road against the Ishpeming Hematites. Talk a little bit about the challenges the Hematites pose and also what your team's going to have to do to come out on top against Ishpeming Friday night.
Well, who has a better program than Jeff Olson and the Ishpeming Hematites? I mean, they proved how good they can be in the last decade. That's for sure. But we've been hammering out with them the last couple of years here, and they have a very, very solid offensive line, some really good running backs. Well-coached defense, very, very disciplined, and they hit and they tackle, and they're very big, they're very physical, and we do that from the beginning. They got those right across the front of the line. They're, big, strong kids that come off the ball. You can just tell they're well-coached with their pad heights and their intensity and the way they play, and they'll hit and they'll tackle, and if you don't come ready, you're going to get it. So I think we have to match up. Our defensive line has to play low and hard and fast, and we have to try to eliminate some of that size they have.
All right, Bob, good luck on Friday, and thanks for joining us on tonight's show. Go Knights. Norway, one of a handful of teams still perfect on the season, but where would the Knights find themselves on our updated team rankings? Here are our newest ranks after the second week of the season. Let's begin at the number 1 spot. It's the Ishpeming Hematites. They gave up an early score against Lakeland and Hubble, but they clamped down on defense after that, and they ran the ball with purpose. The Hematites are our top team. The Westwood Patriots move up to number 2 after a convincing win over Iron Mountain in our game of the week. Number 3, we have the Norway Knights. The Calumet Copper Kings with the impressive win at home against Nagani to move to 2-0. They're sitting at number 4. And coming in at number 5 this week is West Iron County. We have an honorable mention. That's going to go to the Hancock Bulldogs.
Let's head over to the 8-man league. At number 1, we have Stevenson. Coming in at number 2 is Cedarville. The North Central Jets able to hold off the Rapid River Rockets late in their game Friday night. They sit at number 3. Rapid River showed a lot of grit in their close loss to the Jets. We have them at number 4. And after a surprising blowout loss in the opening week, the Forest Park Trojans return to form with a good win against Kearney NATO. The defending champion Forest Park Trojans, they round out our top 5.